Hello, lovely ones. So I have been trying to do this video for the last few days, basically trying to find a pocket of energy and time that was quite peaceful and not frenetic. And yeah, that's not happened. So I've woken up today in the same energy and I'm like, you know what? I've got stuff to share. I'm diving in. Because there's so much noise out there, there's so much noise in here, and there's so much noise in here. And I was waiting for that to subside so I could actually bring a clear message. I don't think it's going to happen. So this is me sharing, because I do have stuff to share to do with the Lionsgate portal. I am off to Zimbabwe, where am I going to be on the 8th of August, which is the culmination and the peak of the Lionsgate portal. I'm going to be in Zimbabwe again. This time last year I got called to Zimbabwe, interestingly enough, because I'm currently in Cape Town, and I got called back to my other home, and I ended up being in the bush there on the 8th of August. So it's interesting that I'm going back there now to the Matopus Mountains, which is a very, very sacred mountains in Zimbabwe, and I'm going to be sitting with an elder, which, well, me and two of my other divine sisters were going to sit with the elders, and you know, he's a lion shaman, so I definitely feel that there's something very powerful going to come from this. I don't quite know why, what it's all about, but as always, when you're in service, you hear the call, away you go, and this trip has just come together like a hot knife through butter. So that's where I'm going to be on the 8th. I'm going to try and post. I'm going to be sharing along the way, so just in case I can't, here's a video for now as we move through the Lionsgate portal, okay? Now, a recap. Opens on the 26th of July, so it's already opened. Culminates on the 8th. I believe it closes around about the 22nd of August. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going with. And because I believe it's open for a month. A lot of people say the 12th of August. Poppycock. I think that it's like way bigger and open for much longer. Big Leo energy. Every single year it comes around. I'm so excited for the Lionsgate. It's like my version of Christmas. Get to the Lionsgate. I'm like, please close it. Please close it. I don't want to do this anymore. Please close it. That's enough of seeing my shadow. Thank you very much. So that's what I want to talk about. That's the reason why I've not been able to share, because the energy, something blew in very, very powerfully. I believe there was a big galactic something or other, which, like, yeah, it's there, but I'm more interested in on the ground and what that means and how the hell I move through it. Saturday, big energy blew in. You probably find that may have drained quite a lot and got quite tired, especially by the afternoons. Sunday, really intense. Monday, forget about it. It was supposed to be closing. That energy was supposed to be subsiding on Monday. No, I don't think it did at all. We're now on Wednesday, and I'm like, oh, at least I can string a sentence through today. So if that has been you, and it's all just been very chaotic and frenetic, that has been the energy. So I just want to break down the experience of that it's been very chaotic. I haven't been able to still. I do a lot of stillness meditation, just sitting in my dantian, being very still. It's been so noisy, and I've had to fight for it, which is completely not the point. Fighting for your stillness, that's not what's supposed to be happening. So it's been really difficult. Very, very physical things going on. Haven't been able to get myself to the gym. Yesterday was just a day of eating everything that I shouldn't be, just like chocolate. But those of you that work with cacao, the message after I'd gone through a bar of Lindt chocolate was actually to sit with Mama Cacao, of which I did by the evening. Should have just done that. So those of you that work with the sacred cacao, go for it. I'm going to have another cup today. I'm going to work with her, and she just seems to calm everything down. And if you have Blue Lotus available to you as well, maybe put a little bit of that in your cacao, and it just because it's a heart healer. So is Blue Lotus. She's a divine heart healer, and she'll just smooth everything out. So it's not that we want to get away from this frenetic energy. We need to just understand how we can just allow it to move through and sit with it, not in it, if that makes any sense. But having said that, when these energies come in so intensely, sometimes all you can do is just book out. You know, you can try and apply all your spiritual tools to moving it through and meditating, but then what's actually happening is that can turn into a resistance in itself. So what I suggest, where you just kind of think, right, let me meditate this, let me go to yoga, let me do that. Sometimes it's a fine line when you start doing that you cross over into resistance. Some days it works where you take yourself out and you move and all the rest of it, and you move the energy through. So you have to discern exactly what works for you. And it's okay if you want to climb onto your bed, book out, put on a movie and just chill out, because maybe that's all that, you know, that because you've got to be kind to yourself. So find your kindness, find your sweet spot. Today is a little less intense. I feel that I might be able to get to the gym, so I'm going to give that a go after this. So the energy is very, very powerful. Now, I was talking to my good friend Ma, who I've mentioned before on my videos, and I always have good conversations with her, and she was like saying that there was so much energy coming in because the Lionsgate portal opened. So all of our star beings, brothers and sisters, Andromedans, Pleiades, Sirians, especially the Sirians because it's Lionsgate, the Lyrans, like, you know, they're just all downloading on us. They're like, they're open, send it in. So there's a lot of light and a lot of frequency coming in because they've taken that opportunity. So come the 8th, when it comes to that balloon pop moment, you're going to go, pressure valve off, and you're probably going to have a bit of an exhale. So that's what we were talking about last night. That was the message from Ma, who, by the way, is going to do her own video soon. Just pinging it on your radar. No pressure, Ma, but like, hey, she's a powerful channel. And when we sit together and have our cacao time, we bring through some amazing stuff. So that was what came to light between the both of us yesterday. So what I wanted to share with you about the Lion's Gate and what its meaning is, because each year as the Lion's Gate comes along, yes, we all know that it's about your acceptance of core power, because it's a direct connection to the 8th dimension, which is the cosmic heart. This is where the 8th dimension is accessed. And one of the things of the 8th dimension is acceptance of core power, and you know, with that, that's your lion's roar. With that can take you to the Sphinx. It's very connected to the Sphinx as well. The Sphinx is an earth altar. So as I always say when I work with the Sphinx, what are you consciously placing down on the altar to say, thank you, I'm done? And what are you consciously picking up? And in your mind's eye, it might be a talisman. In your mind's eye, it might be a crystal. And in your mind's eye, you know, what is like you've been bearing the energy of, maybe a scroll that you want to put down. Or maybe it's just energy that you're offering to Mother Earth or the Sphinx to transmute. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to really be consciously working with my energies to help me really manifest the next level using the Lionsgate portal energies, you know, because like I say, it's about finding your lion's roar, the feline frequency. Sekhmet is very much going to be present for a lot of you. She has been this week just burning fire. And fire's been a big thing as well. The Lyran fire is a transmutation tool as well, very much like the blue flame and very much like the violet flame. So yeah, it's thing, you know, so anytime you're working with fire, it's transmuting, and you may want to physically do that as well. So if you've got stuff coming up, you can actually do a fire ceremony, as in like make a bonfire, make it ceremonial, drink some cacao around it, or just sit and just write some stuff out, you know, kind of like purge it out on the paper, bless it and burn it and clear it. I mean, that, or you can just do that, look at the moon and just, you know, burn the paper. That's a really good clearing tool. But what has to happen now is like, right, we now need to like make space. Okay. So use the energies of the portal. Now, the reason why we're going through all of this, because we just seem to be constantly purging. And quite frankly, I'm just as enough of it as you are, because you know, we want to get there now. And this is really feels like, to me, the final push into that next level, like where we get to drop the bodysuit, we get to drop the old persona of who we were and step into who we actually are. And I was very much shown that in the UK when I went there. I've never felt so content and happy and whole and in flow, because I wasn't just sat in my office 24/7 staring at my screen trying to make things happen. Do you know what I mean? I lived my life. And that was spirit showing me how it should be, and that's what's coming. And I think that's why I've landed in Cape Town with a smack in the face, Lion's Gate, going, that's what you're purging. Do you know what I mean? So you might find that there's a little bit of a night and day thing going on, where you've been shown something that was so amazing, and now it's like gone because you're in this energy. But understand why, you know, why you have been shown the two, you know? So now with the Lion's Gate portal, you know, like we call it the 888, you know, 888. I remember in 2008, it was awesome. 888 portal, you know, but technically we are 8822, 8th of August, the 8th month, 22. Okay, so add those numbers up. We're going to do a little bit of a numerology now. So basically 8 plus 8 plus 6, which is the 22 added together. So we've got an 8 plus 8 plus 6. That added up together is 22, which is the most powerful creation numbers of all. As we know, 22 is about the divine feminine and divine creation. And also as well, we're in the 2-2 year anyway, do you know what I mean? But this Lion's Gate is breaking down to this year is breaking down to a 22, you know what I mean? Because like 8 + 8 + 6 is 22. And that's all about creation, and that's the Lion's Gate portal, right? Now reduce that down further to a 4, okay? Now, I have to read you from my list now, which I found this very interesting. 4 is the number of stability, reliability, sturdiness, groundedness, and organization, okay? Which equals, and I've written in big letters, productivity, okay? So now we're about to land. We're about to land this ship now. So basically just hold fast, keep going. We're about to land this stuff. And remember, 4 is also the balance, because it's basically the 4 bodies: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, 4 directions. Do you know what I mean? Have I missed anything? 4 elements. Okay, so, you know, it's like, yeah, this understanding of the number 4 can just go on and on. And for me, all the 4s mean Mary Magdalene and the Sisterhood of the Rose, all of that consciousness when I see double 4s, triple 4s, quadruple 4s, you know? So, you know, that you can go on and on and on about what that means. But the main thing I want us to focus on right here is the stability, reliability, and the sturdiness, groundedness, and the productivity. So that's what this particular Lion's Gate is all about. So we've got to get our backups off the wall. When the energy picks up again, allow yourself to purge and go through that, but it's going to pick up, and when it does, dive in there. So I just want to finish off now with the cards that I picked, which might be a little bit helpful. Funnily enough, 22. So we have the Nile, might read back to front here, but anyway, the Nile, 22, okay, and I'm just going to go through them. The Pyramid, okay, 23, funnily enough. And then a 9, which is a master number, and that's Thoth. So let's talk about the Nile. So the Nile for me is all about rebirth. That's how the Egyptians connected with it. Basically, it's sacred archetypal element of water. Water's been coming up for me a lot, which, let's face it, that's all about cleansing. But it's also all about going into the death process. Okay, very Osiris, going into the death process and then rebirth. So when the waters came in Egypt and the floods came, you know, essentially that kind of like, you know, washed everything away, and it began because the desert was regarded as death because it's a hot, arid, yeah, nothing goes on there. And then the Nile was regarded as life and rebirth. So that's the first number, 22, rebirth. Now the second one, the Pyramid, sacred archetypal element of earth, little bit of a sidestep to me for the Sphinx that I just spoke about. But you see, the Great Pyramid for me speaks about divine creation, sacred architecture. So when I see something that's basically a creation, a sacred creation or a conscious creation coming into fruition, I always see the Great Pyramid. That for me symbolically is what speaks that energy. That's what, I mean, I know it's for astral travel and receiving and transmitting, but when I see the Great Pyramid, I'm like, that is something in physical form that was built, physically built, and stands the test of time. It's still standing now. So what creations are you going to bring through which basically will last? Yeah. And then we go into Thoth, number 9, illumination, architect of wisdom, enlightened communication. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, absolutely. But Thoth for me, he is my organizer. He is, there he is, up there. And he is, well, he's the scribe. He's the god of wisdom, knowledge, you know, languages, magic, the moon. I mean, he's basically the god of everything. So for me, it's very, very, it's not uncommon that when you start working with the Egyptian Neteru and you start working with them as a whole, Thoth will be the first one that kind of makes contact with you. He's also known as Archangel Metatron. Okay, so Metatron is also a angel of a scribe, or scribe angel, and they're one of the same. So so I find that Metatron / Thoth is always deeply connected with the Great Pyramid. I actually have it tattooed on my arm. Yeah, so basically that's a whole nother podcast. But this whole Thoth thing, Thoth is the one that helps you build. Thoth is the one for me that brings everything into fruition, and he communicates through him to the other gods and goddesses of Egypt. So, you know, it's a thing. So he's very much like, let's get this stuff done. Now, if we were talking about Isis, or we were talking about, you know, Khnum or whatever, they're a little bit different. Do you know what I mean? But Thoth is always my front man. He always turns up with Joseph Arimathea, which is Jesus's uncle. I have Joseph here and Thoth here. And I always look at the Great Pyramid. They show me the Great Pyramid because these are the big players that help me create big things. So if he turns up right next to the Great Pyramid, I know stuff's going down. So, so that's basically what I'm talking about with the final push with the Lion's Gate. So we actually have until the 22nd. There's the 22 again. The 22nd is the closing of the Lion's Gate. So we got work to do, man. We got work to do. And we need to think about where we're going and what we're doing and how we're going to go about it and what branches need to be trimmed and what ones need to be cultivated, because this is a real tidying up, realigning, and then stepping forth to create. And you know me, I'm all about the creation codes. I'm all about working with conscious creators, because that's what my work's all about. Sacred missions and expeditions for the conscious creators. So, you know, if you're a grid keeper, or if you are, you know, a teacher in any way, a researcher, a scribe, whatever, there's big work that is now time for you to bring forward. It's time, because you're the new wave, as am I, actually. And there's a whole new wave of codes coming in. And some of you may be aware of that because you already started on your conscious creations. But some of you may just know there's a huge stirring inside of you, and you know what you were doing before isn't correct because there's something else coming online. So what it will feel like is intense inside, because sometimes when you are not, when you're not flowing with it, it's an incredible, powerful energy inside of you that won't let you rest until you acknowledge it. So you might find all of that coming up. Expect that to come up and understand what it's all about. So, you know, this kind of leads me into why I do the Tablets of Light talk, because that's going to be, that information is going to be released very soon, actually, during the month of August. We're still just fine tuning it. Because that is for the conscious creators, you know, for this reason, what I'm talking about. So, you know, this is just a bit of a seed plant. If this is something that you are really feeling in a big, tremendous way, and you're feeling right now, like it's go time, you know, then of course the Tablets of Light tour and working with me, because the tour is like a mentorship. You do the energy work prior, activations, meditations, all these tools that I activate your system with, and then we work with it all the way through Egypt, and then I support you after the tour as well. This kind of like offering is going to be the portal that you need to step through to go on to that next level. I mean, what's not to love? It's Egypt. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that more in other videos to come. But this is the reason I'm bringing that into this video now, is because this is the turning point. This is like I said, you're going here and then you're going to go there. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just like here and then we're going to go there a little bit and over there. Like look at myself, look at my own experience. 5 minutes ago, I was just chilling here in Cape Town. Now all of a sudden, I've just been to every single sacred site in the UK, unplanned. Just got back and basically washed my dirty underwear, and now I'm getting on a plane and going to the Metopus Mountains to sit with the Sangomas and the Lion Shamans. And when I get back, I'm going back to the UK and I'm sat here going, what is happening? So that is what I'm talking about, like go time. And we need to understand it. Otherwise it double backs on you and it starts to feel very uncomfortable and you get very unwell with it. So, you know, it's about time that you kind of embrace and understand your sacred mission and your purpose, because you've come here to do if you're watching this video, you've come here to do very, very big things, and you need those support bases to help you action those very, very big things. Here it is. So, I'm going to leave you with that, because that's a longer video than usual. And like I say, it's all about the twos, creation, co-creation. Anyway, I will post as I go along. Peace and love, y'all. And you know what? Keep on trucking.